Hi, and welcome to the third seminar in the series of Localize, Maximize, Monetize, the way to make local your secret weapon. Each of the seminars is self-contained. They work just fine on their own. If this is what you need to get yourself moving in the right direction for local, that's fantastic. Pick and choose the one that works for you and the one that you need to get yourself going. However, if you watch them in order from number 1 through number 6, you're going to take a lot more out of it. It's a complete ecosystem for making your station more locally connected and more engaged. Today, I want to talk about the local illusion. How do I sound local when we program content that is not generated locally? I'm talking about voice track content that's coming from another market or networked programming. Maybe it's that special programming that you've got on the weekends or in certain day parts or time slots. Or maybe you've got a syndicated show, or maybe your whole station is syndicated and you don't have any locally produced content, which is happening more and more, especially in smaller and medium markets. That can be efficient, but you give up that local control, right? Not really. It's just that your programming is being provided from an external source. It's not geographically local in the origin of the content, but that's your content. That's your programming. How are you going to make it resonate with your local audience? That's what we're here to talk about today. And that's why I call it an illusion. Even though the content is being generated from someplace externally, it can still sound like it's yours. So today, the local illusion, how to sound local with non-local programming and not fake it. And I'm talking about those things that we already referred to: syndication, networks, and voice tracking. That's the local illusion. Here's your game plan for today. First of all, we're going to talk about the new local. Local is no longer a zip code. It's about geographic relevance. And this is an important skill. It's a lot of tactics and a lot of strategy that goes into this to show your audience that you're connected with them in your market. Second, I'm going to give you some actionable tactics to make syndicated and voice track shows come alive with a local vibe. And this comes from years of experience in coaching syndicated shows and working with affiliates of those syndicated shows to embrace the content, embrace the personalities, and make it like it's their own. And third, I'm going to give you a bunch of examples, localizing non-local programming in the real world. Today's presentation is full of examples. It's full of samples. It's full of tips and tactics and how-tos. And I think you'll take away from it being inspired. I think you will find some things that you can apply almost instantly. And hopefully when you put it all together, it'll change your strategies for how you're embracing non-local programming to make it sound like your market. It's presented today by my friends at the Local Radio Newsletter that's created and curated by Jay Mitchell every week. It's an amazing newsletter that if you are concerned or interested in local programming, you should have it as part of your tool chest. And by Local Beat, the product from Radio Content Pro that scans your market, finds stories 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and curates it into 13 ways for you to use it on the air, online, and on social media in real time. And it's all local and it's all ready to use, ready to go. It's the best tool that you can find. Let's start. The new local. What do I mean when I say the new local? Well, the new local is because it's part of the new reality in radio. Radio is under immense pressure for cost controls. And that's because revenues are down. And they're probably not coming all the way back to the glory days of what radio used to be. So we're operating differently. Every one of you has felt this. You've had your budgets slashed. There have been layoffs. There's been cutbacks. You don't have as many tools to work with. And one of the ways that the stations have cut back is increasing the amount of syndication, outsourcing, voice tracking, and non-local programming that's coming to your station. So what do you do about that? A lot of programmers throw up their hands and say, well, I can't really do anything about it. I just plug it in and forget it. I've got that syndicated show that's coming in from outside the market. I can't do anything about it. I can't control anything. So I just let it roll. There are things that you can do about it. Let's talk about the new local. What is live and local anyway? Does it matter? What is it? Well, local's not a zip code. It's a vibe. It's an emotional thing that you feel. It's a sense of relevance, reflection, and a way that your station can resonate in your local market. So something that is feeling like it's my city, it's on this day, at this time, with these personalities. Syndicated, voice tracked, still could be local. It's how you manage it. It's how you curate it and what you do with it. I'm going to show you some of the tips that I've used with a lot of my clients. It requires more attention to detail. So you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and invest in making these syndicated shows sound local, the voice track shows sound local. You don't need a big team, but you do need to invest some time into it because this is more of a mindset and an attitude. And it's not as simple as running some imaging or production or sweepers or getting them to do promos that insert town names or plug the blood drive that's coming up this weekend. It's more than that. It's embedding those references. It's embedding things into everything that show does. Here's a comparison. You might hear imaging on a show that says, you're locked into WXXX, Springfield station for Ryan Seacrest from 10 to 2. Well, that just says that Ryan Seacrest is going to come and take over the radio station and we're going to step aside for a while. There's better ways of doing that. And if you embed a different tease that is a purely local tease and something that is happening inside your market first, and then piggyback on that, we call it a stack tease, piggyback on that, Ryan Seacrest's plug, it sounds like Ryan Seacrest is part of your cast. Here's an example. Desiree's boyfriend bought her a fake bag from a sketchy guy outside the Gas and Go on 676th Street in East Springfield last night. And he got caught. And that's tomorrow morning at 7. And Ryan Seacrest has the inside scoop behind Kelly Clarkson's big confession next at 10:20 on Springfield's own WXXX. See how that works? That's just a personality investing a little bit more time in being more specific. And you can, if you're a program director, you can coach this, you can encourage it, and you can critique it. And you can hold your staff accountable. If you're a personality, you can take that challenge because isn't that much more entertaining? Isn't it more fun to do something that's more specific and is locally connected? Part 2, let's talk about actionable tactics. And I told you at the beginning that we're going to do a lot of examples today. And this is where this is going to come alive. I'm going to give you a few concepts. I'm going to give you 8 concepts that you can apply on your station. And then I'm going to show you some examples of how it sounds and how you can do it. First of all, understand that when you bring in programming from the outside, whether it's another show in your company or a voice tracker that's doing afternoons on your country station and doing middays on your classic rock station, or if you're bringing in an external voice tracker from another market, or you've got syndicated programming on the weekend, as soon as it appears on your station, it's not their show on your station, it's your show on your station featuring that talent. So the number one reason that syndicated programming and voice track shows fail is that the local team doesn't invest in it. And I don't mean invest with cash or with money or with barter. I mean, they set it and forget it. It's like, whew, boy, I'm done with that. Good thing I don't have to think about that anymore. They tend to forget it, almost like it's a task that they can mark off of their to-do list every day. You know, it's not a task that you mark off your list. It's an ongoing, living, breathing thing. And you need to invest some time to make it yours. So embrace it. Treat it like it's local talent, which will be a little bit more difficult because they're harder to reach. But if you treat it like it's local talent, it'll change the way that you approach your station and your show. Build your marketing and your image around your syndicated talent. If you've put free beer and hot wings, for example, on your morning show, they're coming to you from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and you're in Portland, Maine. That's your morning show. It's just not being broadcast from there. So build your marketing and imaging around them. Promote it and tease it. Tease the content that's in it like it's a local show. Most of the shows will give you a run sheet for the next day, or the highlights from the next day, or you know what the features are and where those features run. You can promote those things. You know what they did on the show that morning. A lot of them will feed a promo down to you. Use those promos. You don't have to use them exactly the way that they send them. Curate them and edit them. Cut them into something that sounds uniquely like your station. Now, in order to make this work, they need communication from you. Don't expect them to read your mind. They can't do that. They don't know what's important to you. They don't know what your station sounds like. They don't know about your local community. They don't know the things that you want them to talk about. They're not going to suggest it. You've got to reach out to them. And almost every syndicated show, almost every producer, every voice tracker from somewhere else is almost begging you to help them help you. So update those liners. Write new promo copy for them every single week. And some can do it every single day. Maybe you use voice cloning. And by the way, this is coming. If you're not using AI yet, you need to start using AI. And a place where it's going very quickly is being able to clone a personality's voice and recreate it and use it for almost any liners. It is awesome. And it's getting better almost by the day. So it's a great way to syndicate, to use syndicated or voice track shows in a way that streamlines the communication between you and them. And give them access to your local vault. In the first episode, first seminar of this series, I called it the Local Vault, and how you create a rich resource for your personalities, for your programming team, your promotion team, even your sales team, to be able to make your station uniquely local. Give them access to that. So, they may not use it as much as you'd like, but they have access to it. And especially voice trackers will be able to make it sound as much like your market as they can. Second is to promote the local elements. Local elements are awesome. And if you're involved in a community project, or if you're involved in something that is reaching out and touching the community, get the personalities involved. Example, hey, it's Dee Dee in the morning. I'm back tomorrow morning at 5 with another Mad Minute prank call at 7:30. And now here's my girl Zippy with Springfield's best music on WXXX. So you're promoting local elements on your local station. You've got the morning show that's syndicated, talking about your talent. Now, don't run that same one every day. Get multiple versions of it. Get different intros. If you run the same one every day, it doesn't sound that authentic. But if you have a bunch of different ones, and maybe you put them in a rotator cut, or you program them for a short period of time and then change them, it can really sound like the talent is locally involved in your radio station. Make them the spokesperson for your brand. Top of the hour ID. Put them in there. If you're, I had a program director ask me a while back, said, I've got a syndicated show. Do you think I should promote it? And I thought about it for a second, and I said, well, if you hired that show and put them on your station, it was the only station they were on, they were working out of your studio, would you promote that show? I said, oh yeah, that'd be huge. So, well, you've got them on your station. It's the same thing. Of course you should promote the show. How would you promote it? Well, I'd have them in the ID at the top of the hour every hour. I'd have them planting the flag about the station. I said, well, let's do that then. So make them in the top of the hour ID, or put them in other features that are outside of the show. If you're doing a contest or a promotion or a giveaway, if you're doing a community event, put them on it. Make it Peppy and Zippy's $1,000 minute. Make it, put them in as many recorded places as you can. But again, you're going to have to be proactive. They don't know what's happening on your station unless you tell them. So coach them through it, include detailed notes and the copy points. Explain to them not just what I want you to say, but why I want you to say it. If you do that, they can ad lib around it better and pour more of their personality into it. And a lot of them will do that if you encourage them to, and if you've got a relationship with them. And again, record multiple versions of every one of those messages. It'll resonate much better. Record local events. This is also really important. You can get them to record liners about things that are happening on your station and things that are happening in the community if you're thinking ahead about it. And most of the time, they only need a day or two to get the copy back to you so they can turn it around very quickly. But you're going to have to be thinking ahead a little bit, because you can't just run in the studio and say, here, talk about this. You're going to have to give it a little bit more time. So take that responsibility to think a little bit further ahead. They can do contest winners and announcements, or they can do shells and donuts for that, where they're introducing one of your local personalities with the latest winner, and then they're plugging it at the end again. So you're integrating them in a bunch of different ways. You can talk about things that are happening in the community, especially if you're sponsoring it or promoting it. You can talk about sponsor tags. Endorsement ads are another area. So do anything that you can. Write liners for them that show their heart. Thank Springfield for listening. Thank your audience. It includes specific neighborhoods, local slang, nicknames. If you've got sports teams, if you've got a big rivalry game between two high schools that are coming up, encourage them to do those kind of things. And as you're giving them the liners, they're going to ask you to write it out for them, but encourage them to put their personality into it and ad lib around it. It's going to sound much more authentic. It's going to sound a lot more like their show, and it's going to be fully integrated into the flow of the show and what they do. By the way, you can use AI to generate local references and liner drafts for each syndicated host. And here's a pro tip. If you have a local vault, which I highly encourage you to do. If you don't know how to do it, watch the first seminar in this series. It's called the Local Vault. Develop that, and then take the content, go to ChatGPT, and the paid version gives you a chance to start a project. Upload your local vault content into the project so it knows everything about your town and what's important to you. And then tell it about your show and your personalities, and ask ChatGPT to give you some lines. Tell it how long you want it to be. Have some lines that will reflect the local community and accomplish the goal that you have for those liners, and do it in the style and personality of that talent. And it'll be amazing what it turns out. It'll give you so many things that you can give to them. So it's some work up front, but once you get that work done, you can use it over and over and over, and it'll make you sound so much better. Example of that is at the top there. Shout out to Angela Jackson. She's the latest to win cash in the $1,000 by solving the song scramble. She's partying with her girls from Southeast General this afternoon. And a new song scramble starts tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock on the beat of Springfield, WXXX. Simple. Not hard to do. It's copy you were writing anyway. You're just personalizing it for the talent. Next is to use your local talent. I talked about integrating the syndicated or networked or voice track talent into your local stream. Also, coach your local talent to integrate the syndicated voice track talent into the station and show as well. A lot of times we forget to do that. And a lot of times the local talent forgets to do it too, because out of sight, out of mind. They don't think about it. That the local talent is glue. And you can transition into and out of syndication with local talent. You can put local talent on that show in some of the local inserts talking about what they're going to be doing later on today. You want to coach them to promote and endorse the personalities as if it were local, as if it were your own talent that was in your studio, in your station. And to make this easier, give them some scripts, give them some bullet points, give them some things to think about. You know, a lot of times personalities on your staff aren't listening to your station other than the time that they're on. They're busy. They got a lot of things going on, and they're just not as available as you would like for them to be necessarily. So you've got to give them the things that are happening on that show if you want them to talk about it. Another way to do it is to wrap syndicated talent liners around local inserts. So there's a station in Miami, WEDR, Jams, that does the most amazing job of localizing a syndicated show that I have ever heard. They carry the morning hustle in the morning. It sounds like it's coming right out of WEDR studios. It's seamless. And one of the parts of that is they've got a personality that does the local traffic, does some weather, does some community events, and does a local Miami news update once an hour. So it's on regularly. And then they have the syndication the morning hustle personalities doing a lot of different intros that are localizing it and introducing him as if he is a part of the station of the show's cast. So it integrates local talent into the network show, and it's really special. If you have a chance to listen to it and stream it, listen to how they integrate the morning hustle into WEDR. You can ask the network shows for the daily show rundown, which I mentioned before, showcase highlights from that show, and get tomorrow's rundown to tease and promote for the next day if the show can do it. So, a lot of them aren't able to do that. They should be able to put that out. A lot of them don't do that. If you can do that, that way you've got some live teases for what's happening tomorrow. Example, with up to the minute traffic, I'm Peppy with the Morning Hustle, where you can win $1,000 on the Morning Hustle's cash grab at 7:10 on Springfield's WXXX. There you go. Simple, right? Simple, takes some time. Next is listener testimonials. It doesn't have to be your local talent that is localizing your content. It can be listeners who make you sound local as well. Run these outside of the show to accent promos. If you've got a promotion going on, you can have a listener drop that comes in there and talks about, I'm Lisa from Southeast Springfield, and I can't wait for my next chance to win the secret sound with Peppy and Zippy on WXXX. So it's mentioning the show, mentioning the talent, just integrating everything into a local feel. You can use them as transitions into and out of show content. Great way to do that is also in sweepers during the show, between songs. So using those listeners to localize something that isn't already local can give you a feel that the syndicated or the voice track talent doesn't do on their own. Where do you get them? How do you do it? Well, you can record them at events and promotions. Great idea. And we're going to be talking about this in the 5th and 6th seminars of this series when we talk about broadcasting live and doing events and getting more bang for your buck at promotions and remotes. I'll give you some examples and ideas of how to do that. You can set it up on your talkback feature in your app if you have that, where they can push a button and speak into it. It comes right into the studio. Now you've got a drop. You can ask for them when listeners call. A listener's calling to win a prize. You got that phone line's lighting up and everybody wants to win the concert tickets. While you've got them on the phone, ask them if they'll give you a plug and have some copy that you can get and have them repeat it back to you. Probably have to edit it, but you have them repeat it back to you. A lot of them are excited that they can have their voice on the air. Pro tip, write and record your own and use AI voices. Again, AI voices are coming. They're coming very quickly. And there's so many technologies there where you honestly can't tell the difference whether it's a real person or it's AI. And especially if it's in short bursts, like a line or two here and there. It works really, really well for this cause. Example. Hey, it's Thomas from Lakeview. The Burt Show gets me through my morning run at Holmes Park Trail every morning. Thanks for being real and thanks for being funny, Burt. Drop that in. You've got a promo for the show, and it's a localized promo that makes it sound like Burt is in your market. And that's the key, is how you integrate these things to give it that local illusion. You can also do it with contests and promotions. Brand it with your talent. Don't just use their voice. Include it in the title. Energize group contests and make them local. This is a real sticking point with me because I hear so many shows, so many stations who have the attitude that I got to do this group promotion. It's a cram down. It only runs 8 weeks, but until then, we're kind of paralyzed. We can't do anything fun. It's a great promotion. Contests might be a group contest that's coming from outside your market, but you can make it local. And the ones who do that are rewarded with a lot more attention and a lot more winners than those who don't. You can use them to use the syndicated talent to give clear contest instructions. If you're doing let's say you're doing a group contest and you've got a syndicated talent, have the syndicated talent do all the endorsement, the promos, the liners, put their name on it, and use local references throughout. Now you've used the local illusion to integrate the syndicated talent, the voice track talent, to localize a group contest that's coming from outside the market and is shared among other stations, and local references. that's like the trifecta. That's winning the lottery, right? So you're going to have to edit the syndicated talent into winner promos. You're going to use full promos and emphasis liners and voiceover promos, just drops that emphasize and highlight. And you can integrate it into all aspects of your campaign. Pro tip, if you can, and most syndicated talent will do this, their studios are usually set up for video. Ask them to record a video that explains the contest you can put up on your website too. Example, free beer and hot wings, pay your, this is the voiceover. Free beer and hot wings, pay your bills, or they pay off your lost Super Bowl bet. Win $1,000 5 times daily. Then put the talent in that says your next chance to play is at 11 o'clock, and listen to us tomorrow morning at 7 to win from Springfield's own WXXX. Voiceover, syndicated talent, making it sound local, making it sound unique. Also features in their show. You can do local inserts and fill it with more than commercials. A lot of times syndication has really long stop sets. You don't have to play commercials for all of those. You can put whatever you want in there. Maybe they break for 3 minutes for news at the top of every hour. Well, what are you going to do to fill that? It doesn't have to be news. It can be anything that you want that has a local content. Syndicated hosts can record elements to sound integrated there. You can make your local talent part of the team. We talked about that a little bit ago. It can be local information and events updates. It might be concert calendars or weather and traffic. We're going to talk about those things in seminar number 4 in this series that's coming up in the next episode. And you can record a large library of intros, outros, and plugs that you can mix and match and play a lot of different ways. All right, so use it in features inside the show. And then think about how you can market every day. Look for opportunities like a daily email from the show that goes out with highlights of what happened that day. If you have someone who is the local talent that's during the show, like we talked about, have them take notes on the highlights of the show, grab some audio for it, put it up on your website, and then create a daily newsletter that goes out from Dee Dee in the morning or from whoever your syndicated talent is. You can create social posts that link to that audio on demand. And if you're in a PPM market, you will get ratings credit for that as well. So use those things, and you can repurpose videos, you can repurpose promos, you can make show updates, promote it on the homepage of your website. It's amazing to me that more stations fail to put syndicated or voice track talent on their website because even the local station doesn't believe it's really their own show. If I was running Kid Craddock in the morning on my radio station, I would have Kid Craddock all over my website. That cast would be everywhere. The station would be branded around that. So promote it on the homepage of your website. Feature specific content from their recent shows. And build and promote the digital assets to engage the audience. Get videos from them, like I said before. By the way, your messaging should be personal. It should come from the show, not as a part of your station newsletter. Start a separate newsletter that's just for the show. Make it stand out, make it special, and make it sound like it's coming directly from them. So marketing every day is really important. Now let's talk about the real world. I've given you some ideas. I've given you some theories. I've given you 8 different ways that you can integrate non-local content, non-local talent into your local brand. I've given you some examples from all of those. Here's some ways that you can learn and apply from the real world. Here's an example of local feature integration. Kylie's text just hit. She's dodging traffic at the 6752 split and laughing along with Big D and Bubba. Thanks for listening to Springfield's own WXXX. Now, Mark, what's the traffic looking like? Awesome. You take one of the characters from Big D and Bubba, have them do that feature. Or if it's your local talent that's on during Big D and Bubba's show, dropping that in, sounding like it's part of the local cast. It's almost like the studio host for the show. So there's a lot of ways that you can make that happen. Here's a way to integrate a local contest. Hey there, it's Brooke. Shout out to a guy called Dingo out at Springfield Heights. He just opened vault number 7 in Brooke and Jeffrey's $1 Million Vault. Play again at 2 o'clock this afternoon with Danny Wild on the Heart of Springfield, WXXX. So that's an example of branding your local contest around your syndicated morning show. It's not just the $1 million vault, it's Brooke and Jeffrey's $1 million vault. Right? See the difference? Now that morning show sounds like it's yours. It's wrapping your arms around it. Here's an example of promoting a local event. Hey, good morning. It's Brant and Lisa. This is your personal invitation to Man Up, a night of inspiration and growth. It's coming up at the Springfield Community Center. Yeah, I know it might freak you out, but it also could change your life. Tuesday night at 7 from the Spirit of Springfield, Spirit 105.7. That's Brad Hansen and Lisa. Great syndicated show for Christian radio stations. If you're running them on the syndication, give them liners like that. Give them a dozen liners like that. Have them ad lib around it and make it sound like they're your morning show. It's awesome. If you'd like some resources for this, there's a couple of things that I highly recommend. Number one is Local Beat from Radio Content Pro. It's 24/7, 365, gathering content inside your market, and it's extremely affordable. You can get Radio Content Pro. Ask Ava Hart, your AI assistant that's online, to personalize the local stories. Ava will also help you write the liners for your syndicated voice track talent, and it's amazing what it can do. RadioContentPro.com/localbeat is where you find it. Ask for a demo, and they'll set you up. You should get Radio Content Pro too, but especially get Local Beat if you want to create that local illusion and make it easy to execute a lot of the things I've talked about today. And you should all subscribe to Jay Mitchell's local radio newsletter. It's a great newsletter, comes out every week. It's packed with information. It's programming tips, personality tips, promotions, community involvement, news from the industry about what's happening and how it affects local radio stations. And it comes from a guy who has decades of experience in personal local radio, great at management, sales, programming, the whole picture. It's a jam-packed, information-filled newsletter that comes out every week. There's a charge for it, but it's affordable. And Jay will give you 25% off if you go to localradionewsletter.com/TJ special, and you'll get the discount from Jay Mitchell's local radio newsletter. Highly recommend it. Great source. It'll pay off week after week for you. Local illusion is real. You can sound local with non-local programming without faking it. If you practice a lot of these tools, a lot of the examples that I showed you today and some of the principles, may not be able to do them all, but do as many as you can, because there's probably going to be more syndication, voice tracking, and network programming in your future. As that happens, make it yours, make it local, and make it special. That's how you create the local illusion. Alexa.